Hi there, hope you're keeping well. So this reel might be the one you were looking for. If you're a HR professional who is working for a well-established company or maybe a new startup company and who has been assigned with the task of finalizing HR, human resources policies for your organization, and if you have no idea from where to begin, how to make a start or how to get the job done, don't worry, I'm with you. This video is for you. So how do you really begin? If it is a fresh company, you have no other option but to draft them all. If it is a well-established company, you might already have certain policies in your hand, but make sure that you're going to revise them all, because some people think that this is just one-time job. You have to finalize a policy and then you get the approval from the board or from the higher management and then you launch it and then you're done. No, it's not. You have to make sure that you're gonna revise all the policies you have, maybe annually, maybe biannually, or maybe quarterly, whenever it is required, to make sure that they are updated but not outdated. Well, if you have no idea on the policies that you're supposed to have in the HR department, what I suggest for you is that make sure that you got human resources functional policies first to your hand. Like, as you know, in HR, in human resources management, or maybe in a human resources department, there are functions that are operating starting from recruitment up to resignation. Like some people call it major HR functions, some people call it HR components, whatever it is. Make sure that you've got HR policies to address each and every human resources function. For example, you can start from the recruitment policy. Some people actually don't use the word recruitment nowadays. People call it talent acquisition, which is very posh and lovely. It's okay. So you just make sure that you have a recruitment policy, and then just try to have a training and development policies. For training, for T&D also, nowadays people call it talent development. So just have a talent development policy for the company, and then you can have a performance management policy, performance appraisal policy, and then you can have an employee information management policy. You can have an employee cessation handling policy. Some people call it employee separation, some call it employee exits, some call it employee resignations, which is the most traditional word to use, but just make sure whatever the word you use, it doesn't matter. Make sure that you have policies to address each and every human resources function, and then you're done. I mean, not done, but 50% of the task is done if you have finalized all the human resources functional policies from recruitment up to resignation. Thereafter, you can proceed with best HR practices policies. As you know, different sectors, different regions, different industries have certain best HR practices. Well, if you have good best HR practices for your organization that you can market, that you can brand internally and externally, try to have a policy for that practice, or maybe series of practices. Like for example, you can have a nice a creative whistleblowing policy, or else you can have LGBTQ voice policy, or maybe HIV policy, dog policy. Likewise, depends on the country that you're operating in, because I have to say this, because different countries have different value systems, so different beliefs, so depends on the country and the region that you're operating in. These practices can be changed, and also depends on the industry. There can be certain changes, so you have to consider them all when you're coming up with best HR practices policies. Because when I was working in Sri Lanka for my previous company, for my previous employer, we had lovely best HR policies such as strong whistleblowing policy, proper grievance handling policy, anti-sexual harassment policies. Likewise, now I'm working in UK, so here I get to see different types of best HR practices policies, like LGBTQ voice policies, HIV policies. I mean, if I'm giving you an example, like in HIV policy, we say that we don't discriminate employees at their recruitments whenever we are giving them promotions. Depends on, like, if they are sick, if they are going through a certain stage due to HIV or anything, we're not going to discriminate them on their medical conditions, likewise. And then you basically equally treat everyone in recruitments, in promotions, in transfers, in everything you do. So those policies are really nice to have on humanitarian grounds as well. So just do a little research on the industry that you're operating in and then the country, and then just try to come up with good, practical, effective, best HR practices policies. And then also, as per the country that you're operating in, as per the legal system of the country and the region that you're operating in, there could be certain statutory requirements that you're supposed to have, and based on that you have to come up with certain policies. Like the best example is, like, in Sri Lanka, you have to have, if you're working in a private company, private organization, you have to have a EPF policy, ETF, and then employee provident fund policy, employee trust fund policy, employee gratuity policy, maternity benefits policy. Likewise, here you can have like paternity benefits policy, here in the sense in UK. So likewise, depends on the region, depends on the industry, there could be a different legal frameworks that I mean, there could be different compliance requirements, certain regulations. So you can analyze the legal framework and then come up with statutory requirements based policies as well. Another example is that here in Europe and in UK as well, if you're handling the information of your clients or maybe your employees, or I mean any stakeholder, anyone, internal or external, you have to handle their information as per the GDPR rules. So that is also another statutory requirement based policy. So I hope you got some sort of an idea. If you have any questions, just ask me.